I have $75,000 in student loan debt, and I'm 25 years old moving back into my parents' house. And on top of all of that, I had spent 3 years making tons of money, but just being irresponsible. 5 years ago, I was in the deepest, darkest place of my life. I had just failed another business and I was sleeping on my best friend's couch trying to make ends meet. And I was sitting there with $75,000 in student loans after dropping out of college 3 years prior. But here's something even worse. Those 3 years prior, I was in a different business where I was thriving, making tons of money, traveling the world, living on my own terms. But here's the thing. All that money I was making, I didn't put it in investments or passive income. I was blowing all of that money because I was young in my 20s and I had no idea how to handle any type of financial responsibility. So I sat there at 25 years old on my best friend's couch, not knowing what I was going to do, trying to look at ways I could Uber and rent a car just to make ends meet, to cover my bills and handle some of the interest I had to pay on these student loans that I didn't even have the discipline to pay off when I was making money in my younger 20s. It was at that point where I had to make the embarrassing decision to move back into my dad's house to temporarily figure out how I was gonna make ends meet and find out how I was gonna be able to recover from this financially and be able to transition out. Now again, I'm a college dropout. I have $75,000 in student loan debt and I'm 25 years old moving back into my parents' house. And on top of all of that, I had spent 3 years making tons of money, but just being irresponsible. So I realized I had to figure out how to make ends meet and recover from this terrible situation, and I had to do it quickly because I was not going to spend lots of time living at my dad's house. It was at this point where I had to accept the fact that I was acting entitled. Because of my prior success, I was not willing to accept the fact that I needed to humble myself and dedicate myself to learning and investing in new skills if I wanted to get out of the rut I was in. I was tied into an old identity of my life that was this success story that I had too much pride to get my hands dirty and really go back to work and grind to get myself out of this terrible situation that I put myself in the first place. It was at this point where I took the rest of the small amount of money I had and I invested into education. And it was all predicated around learning how to make money online in the new age of information and marketing with social media. As I put the rest of my money to learn from mentors, inner circles, and masterminds on how to be able to market online with different products, I started to see little bits of results and tiny amounts of money come in, and I saved that money so I had enough to afford moving to get my own spot. And it was at this point that my girlfriend at the time and I moved to Florida with just a little bit of money saved up on my end to be able to get myself to a position where I at least could afford my own place to live. It was at this point where I thought things were gonna get better, but they ended up getting even worse because I couldn't afford this apartment long term and my savings account was being drained, and I had to accept the fact that I had to really dive in and make something happen because I had burnt the ships. If this wasn't gonna work, I was not willing to move back in with my parents, and I had to make sure that I was able to provide for myself and my partner and that we were gonna be okay financially. And this is when I decided to reconnect with my old friends and business partners to collaborate on ways that we could start making money together with the skills that I learned about marketing online. I started understanding how to build different types of funnels and different ways to drive traffic online and able to convert people to create successful businesses. But I didn't have a product, or I didn't have an industry that I could take those skills that I had learned to actually go into. And this is when we decided to take a really deep look at the financial markets, especially in the world of trading. At first glance, the reason we looked at trading is because on social media, it looked like there was tons of people making a lot of money doing it. But as we dived a little bit deeper into the way that these people were trading and what they were saying on the front end to their offers on the back end, we quickly realized that people were either, one, acting like they had all this knowledge about making money trading, but when you actually looked at what they were selling, they were just teaching people how to trade and didn't actually make money with their own experience, but rather selling products on how to do something. And two, they're in a position where they spent all of their time selling these products to make a living, but never actually learning any real skills with products that made a difference for their actual customer on the back end. So realizing this and understanding my issues in the past and my mistakes in the past in marketing, I knew that the only way we'd be able to create a successful business is if we focus first on products that could really make an impact and a difference in people's lives and the results leading the marketing rather than any hype or any BS. That's where myself and my two business partners decided to create the business Market Hackers. It was a whole community not predicated about being flashy, making tons of money, living some rich, lavish lifestyle. It was a very simple concept. Using technology and advanced trading products in the 21st century to allow people to leverage that time and money link and break it so they can transition to doing what they love on a full-time basis. I saw thousands of people in the world that were in positions they wanted to get ahead, they wanted to succeed, but they didn't have the right community and vehicle to be able to get there. So we spent weeks, it became months, trying to figure out the best products in the marketplace that could actually allow people to break that time money link and do more of what they love. And what was it? It was an experience of losing money ourselves because we had to test certain things that worked and things that didn't work. But through that process, we began to cultivate products that really enriched people's lives for the better, and we started seeing more and more success stories. Then, with the background in marketing that I put the rest of my money into, I built systems online with different strategies to curate a community of people that were all using these products, all from my apartment. And believe it or not, this group scaled into a community of over 40,000 members ranging all around the world. We started seeing people coming out of the woodworks using our different products and services and getting real results in the trading markets. And it was all predicated through us leveraging results all online. Not using hype, not using flash, but letting the results speak for themselves and caring more about what the impact was going to do for someone when they were at a point where they could achieve their own success using these products and what their stories were all about. So as this grew, our business grew. We started running retreats in places like Greece and Mexico and traveling all around the world, educating people on these different services and products and teaching people how they can be able to win in the financial markets, even if they didn't have a lot of time or a lot of money and a lot of effort to put in because of their busy schedule. And as this scaled, what happened to myself? I started making more money than I ever could have possibly imagined, way more than when I was starting my first business in my early 20s. But here's the thing that was different this time. I had learned the mistakes in my early 20s to understand how to properly invest my money this time. Because the products that we're offering were also lucrative and so awesome for other people, I started using the very products that I was offering for people myself to be able to get ahead and win. But what I really made sure I did was I stopped making my life all about trying to show people how much money I had, how cool it was, and make it about me, trying to impress the world. I focused more on trying to impress myself, focusing on my inner peace and my inner social self-esteem. I started looking inward instead of outward for validation. And what that did was completely change my priorities and what mattered in my life. So for myself, I decided to take all the money that I was getting through my businesses and invest it. I wanted to live really below my means. I didn't go buy flashy stuff. I took all that money and reinvested it into assets and assets and assets. Even if that didn't mean people saw me on social media acting like I was financially independent, I didn't care. I had already been through that phase in my early 20s. I wanted to make sure I truly was financially independent, that I could take care of my now wife and be able to be in a position where we can live on our own terms and do what we love. And for us, that's traveling the world. And that's exactly what we've been doing the last few years. Living on our own terms, making great money, buying our own home, and going to places like Dubai, Cuba, Greece, Asia, Bali, and having an amazing wedding in Bora Bora and Africa. So the reason I share this is not to act like I know everything and figured it all out, but I realized that it wasn't about trying to show people how much I had. It was about focusing on what was most important, our customers' actual results and their experience. And by diving into their stories and their narratives and achieving those results and then creating moments to celebrate together and educating people on how to grow, our life started to grow in doing so. So why am I even filming this video? I feel like right now, more than ever in our world, there's all these people that are stuck, frustrated, and upset, and they have these huge complex questions of how they can get out of these situations. But to me, I feel like these complex questions have really simple answers. And because of my decade in entrepreneurship, business, finance, marketing, and learning how to scale huge teams of people all around the world to let you live on your own terms from the comfort of my own house, I have some understanding, but more so mistakes that I can let people learn and educate on that'll allow them to achieve their goals maybe a little faster than I was able to achieve mine. And I realized if I want to help people, then I need to commit to showing up myself and adding value too. So I hope to see more of you guys and hope you can see more of me as I share more content on how you can achieve your goals and get ahead as I share some things that have worked in my life, but also things that haven't. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you soon.